this is a spoiler alert for The Last Holiday. If you haven't seen that movie, you should probably watch it. But for you, because I don't care if I spoil it for you.
No, fuck me, right?
Yeah, right. Hey, how's it going?
It's going.
I always love hanging out with you. My name's Karina.
I'm Clark.
And welcome to It's Always Spooky.
It's always spooky.
So, today we're covering 2010's Insidious. Insidious was directed by James Wan. It was also written by Leigh Whannell, which is kind of cool because this is like another collab that they did other than Saw.
Yeah, and he's in it.
Yeah, and Leigh Whannell's in it. He plays Specs. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I have, speaking of actors, we have Leigh Whannell playing Specs. I didn't have who plays Tucker. I've got Patrick Wilson playing Josh Lambert. I've got Rose Byron playing Renee Lambert. I've got Ty Simpkins playing Dalton Lambert. And then I added Lynn Shay playing Elise Rainier.
And Angus Sampson playing Tucker.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the need to really include the rest of the kids either.
Nah.
It's kind of like the main cast. The title card for this movie is fucking banging.
It's awesome.
It's probably so banging because I include that entire cold open with the woman in black.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of, although, yeah, just the way that they're moving through the house, and then it starts with that really dramatic violin piece. And it ends with the woman in black just holding the, I specifically put not the Daniel Radcliffe woman in black, different woman in black, holding just a lantern and just smiling very creepily at the camera. And then it just has Insidious in the very gothic style text with what looks like maybe flames underneath it. Some kind of red, but it was wavering, like the light was wavering back and forth. And then the tagline is, "It's not the house that's haunted." Okay. Budget for this movie was estimated $1.5 million. Opening weekend on April 3rd of 2011 was $13.2 million.
Damn.
Yeah, no shit. And then gross U.S. and Canada was $54 million.
Damn.
On a $1.5 million budget.
But also, okay, so think about this. I know there's still editing, blah, 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 but $1.5 million over 3 weeks. Because it was 3 weeks of editing, or 3 weeks of filming,
shooting,
right?
yeah.
Shooting,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So editing, sure, it takes time, like that sort of thing. But for the time frame that we know of,
Yeah.
$1.5 million over 3 weeks.
That doesn't seem like a lot of money.
Yeah.
That really, really doesn't. And I don't know what they include in the budget, if that's what they're paying the actors, what they're paying all of their staff members to do the editing, the costuming and the set design and the, I could go on and on and on forever, of all the different things you would have to pay for. $1.5 million for I would assume this was probably a pretty big blockbuster or blockbuster-esque movie when it came out, although it was in April. So it's kind of it wasn't like a Halloween time movie. It was kind of like an early scary movie.
It is kind of that time of the year, though, where you're craving Halloween at that point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's PG-13 too, so it wasn't intended to be a really big scary movie.
No.
Even though it became an instant cult classic.
Okay, so before we go too much further into this, when I was watching it immediately after the open started, my two first notes were the music in this movie is striking and so well done. And the black and white images in the beginning were gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous. Such beautiful contrast. The exposure for those images was so good. And it started the movie off with the perfect vibe.
Absolutely. I also this is a highlight because it's at the very beginning of the movie. I really liked the casting cards because they were just, maybe this is kind of the flashes you were talking about. This is just pictures of the house, and then it would have the actor's name in red, and then it almost looked like a mist, like a gray mist would kind of rise up out of their names and just dissipate. And that to me very much led into this astral projection, or your soul leaving your body. And I thought it was a really interesting detail that didn't necessarily need to be there, but it made it more impactful. It was cool detail.
It was. Yeah. There are so many things in this movie. We'll get into it, of course, a little bit later as far as like it dissolves a little bit toward the end. But this movie is so well executed.
It's very
from
well done.
the opening all the way through. I was like gripped.
Yeah.
I am ready to go.
Yeah, and I like all the characters in it too. I don't really feel like there's a lot of gratuity in this movie. I even really like the fact that they show them being haunted at the main house and then like they're still unpacking the new house and they're already being haunted again.
Yeah.
I like paused in my sentence because I was like, am I getting ahead of myself? Because we haven't done our recap or our themes yet.
Well,
But
we can do that.
I'm not
And then
giving
we'll
any
jump
spoilers.
right back into that thought because I have a comment
You
on
have a
that.
sick comment on that. Okay.
So I did write a brief synopsis. A quick tumble leaves the eldest Lambert child caught in what appears to be a coma. But is this a medical malady or a paranormal paralysis? It's going to be a fun one today.
I had to type that. I had to do that at just the right time.
You've gotten good news. I've gotten beer. It's going to be a good one today.
Did you write down any themes for this?
I did.
Oh, thank God, because I don't know why I had a harder time with this movie coming up with themes.
Yeah, I did all of my notes at the last minute today, but I did the damn notes. So, themes. I've got generational trauma.
Okay, yeah.
Yup.
Yep.
Grief.
Yep. Okay.
And then the other theme that I had was just hauntings. Whether it's you, whether it's a house, whether it's, who even knows? Your
Right.
parents, your family, your lineage, your dog. Like,
I agree with that. Yeah, I like how this is kind of it's a flip on a haunted story because it's not the house that's haunted, right?
yeah. Yeah, it's Katie.
It's
That's
Katie, that dumb bitch.
I did write some lore stuff in
Oh,
here.
yeah. I'm really interested in this segment. Because I think
Yeah.
it's going to have us explore just more conversation and dissection and discussion.
Before I forget, though, I want to touch back on the statement that you had said before about it started in the one house and then it moved to the other house.
Very quickly.
The
Yeah.
only comment that I wanted to make about that is that this is giving HGTV House Hunters so much because he is a grade school teacher. She is a stay-at-home pianist. And somehow they're moving from one potentially like nearly $1 million house to another potentially $1 million house within like weeks.
Right? I mean, I've never bought or sold a house before, but you always hear of like in Amityville Horror where you like buy a house and now all of your money's tied up into it and like you can't leave, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of right where you're like, no, I have the money to just throw at the wall.
Yeah.
They could have been Nepo babies, Clark.
Oh, that's true.
What if they just are always rich?
I forget that other people get to live the life that I
Yeah.
should have.
Plenty of like
Yeah.
too many people, if we're being honest. There's like a whole really great Love, Death, and Robots episode about them.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot what it's like to be part of the like 10%.
Okay, this is another tangent, but I saw a really cool interview with Eminem where he was talking to
The
somebody.
candy or the wrapper?
No, the rapper.
Oh, okay.
And he was talking to somebody about the first time he went to go buy a Rolex, he asked his manager if he could afford it, right? And his manager was like, "What, the watch?" Right? Like, you can afford that, bro. You can afford this entire fucking store if you want to. This isn't what he said, right? But he was just like, yeah, of course you can. And Eminem like had never known money before. So like he didn't fucking know, right?
Yeah.
One, he didn't know, and two, like had no idea like if that money would have broken the bank or not, right? Like money has never been that important to him. And it was funny at the end of the interviewer was like, "So what are you wearing right now?" And he was like, "Oh, this is a Casio G-Shock." Because like, yeah, who gives a shit? They all tell the same time, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'll tell you from personal experience, we'll see if my bio dad ever listens to this, but the first time I met that dude, he showed me his collection of diving watches. Oh, this one costs $2,500 and you can go down 1,500 meters with this one. Oh, this one cost me $3,000 and it does blah 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 blah. And I was like, "So do you go diving a lot?" And he's like, "No, I've never done that before."
What the fuck?
It's fucking expensive. I can
What
spend
the
money
fuck?
on it. You're just like, wow. All right.
Wow.
Cool. Must be cool for
Meanwhile,
you.
I'm like, can I afford a 1-bedroom apartment instead of a studio.
Oh, you should have seen it. I mean, I made a joke, a really distasteful joke one night. I was like, hey, I'm just here to cash in on the last 18 years of, Christmas and birthday presents that I missed out on. And he's like, you can have the Mustang out front if you want. Was not joking.
What the fuck?
And I remember telling Harrison, and he was like, I will fucking fly out there and I will drive that 5-speed across the country from Virginia back to Oregon. And I was like, I'm not taking this car from him. No.
Because I would imagine with him, it would probably be a similar scenario to with my grandparents, where if you do accept the gift or accept the money or, whatever it may be, that is a thing that they can manipulate you with.
100%.
And that buys into having a relationship with you.
Exactly.
And if you don't answer the calls, you're in trouble. If you it's not worth it.
It's kind of... leaves this weird kind of film on your hands. It's really hard to get off no matter how many times you wash it.
Yeah, it's like shitty lotion.
Oh my God.
Getting into the little bit of lore that I got.
Yes.
I'm
ready for lore.
This is a new segment that we're going to include in here. And what I'm going to do is, if whatever we're covering is stemming from a novel, or if it's stemming from some sort of written material, then I'll dive into that and give a little bit of information about the background behind everything. If not, then I will kind of pick one of the main topics that's covered in the movie / TV show, and I'll find some lore behind it and then be able to give a little bit more.
Yeah.
So for this one, I decided to hone in on the astral projection part of it. I dove in just to kind of figure out where astral projection began.
Ooh.
And also kind of what the most recent, or not the most recent, but when the terminology was actually coined.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I thought, honestly, the astral projection would probably be one of those new agey kind of more recent things. And I don't know why, because most psychic phenomena has been around for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
It's just that the more new age religions are the ones who still practice it on a regular basis.
I gotcha.
But the concept of astral projection actually dates back potentially later than the ancient Egyptians. But the term itself was coined in the 19th century by a cult that's named the Theosophical Society, led by Helena Blavatsky.
Oh, shit. A woman.
Yeah,
cult.
a woman. A Russian woman who moved to America, started a cult, and they asserted that the reality of psychic abilities, including clairvoyance and the ability to command out-of-body experiences, was valid, completely real, and that these abilities could be acquired via long-term training. So you didn't actually need to be born with a gift,
right,
or born as one of those people that can kind of see through the thinner veil.
I understand.
You can just read, practice,
meditate,
and be able to essentially, get into mediumship or be able to project your spirit to other places.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
But also not out of the realm of possibility in terms of having that kind of a mindset.
Yeah.
And I know there are probably plenty of faiths like that where it's not about having a gift. It's about just practicing the religion.
Yeah. And even just looking through some of the bullet points in the research that I was doing, there's the ancient Egyptians had record of it. The Inuit tribes in Alaska had record of it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
The Aztecs did. Globally, they're all different cultures through all of time have had record of these things happening.
Right.
And it does make you kind of think we as a society, especially here in the United States, look at psychic phenomena as a more woo-woo sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if cultures for thousands of years have believed in these and recorded it, then who are we to say that that's not real?
Yeah. It could be potentially fear-based.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We were also a society who heavily persecuted witches.
Yeah.
And burned them at the stake and did all sorts of really terrible shit to them.
Yeah.
So.
And now we're persecuting education.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And science.
So, yeah.
This is the
but
world we're living in.
At least Musk's stock is down.
God, right.
Man, I felt so bad for him and his 14 children.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry.
Darn.
Just keep getting derailed. I keep getting distracted. I'm sorry. Ooh. Do you want to get into your favorite scene?
Hell yeah. I have a couple of honorable mentions.
I do too.
my two honorable mentions are both from Specs and Tucker.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So there's a section in the middle of the movie where, to give a brief rundown of what's happened to this point, the Lambert family moves into a new home. And shortly after they move in, their eldest, Dalton, is kind of exploring the house.
Yeah.
And he goes up into the attic and starts to go up this ladder. And one of the rungs on the ladder breaks and he falls down, hits his head. And then that night he goes to sleep and he never wakes up.
Yep.
And they start experiencing some strange occurrences throughout the house. And it's mostly Renee because she's staying at home.
Yeah. Just her and the baby.
Yeah, it's just her and the baby. And shortly after that happens and these occurrences start becoming more and more frequent, Renee convinces Josh that they need to move, that it's the house that's the problem. And so they pick up everything and leave. They move to this new place and then the occurrences start happening again.
Yeah. It's like literally while they're unpacking the house.
It's literally while they're unpacking the house. And so Renee is unpacking and Josh's mom happens to be there also. And when she explains what's happening and then they both share an experience together, they invite over Josh's mom's friend, Elise. Elise is part of a kind of a paranormal investigation group.
Yeah.
And before she would enter a house, she sends over Specs and Tucker. And so Specs and Tucker come over to kind of like pre-qualify the house to make sure that this isn't some sort of a scam, that there is something that's actually happening that's not just explained by like electromagnetic phenomena or something like that.
Exactly.
And they come in, they get everything going, and as they're walking around, Specs notices a little action figure and he goes, Starfield Series 1. You should have kept it in the box. It would be worth so much money now. I thought that was so fucking funny because you think in this moment, like, he found something that's going to be like a signal to what it is that's occurring. And he's just like, action figures.
Oh my God. The nerdiest thing ever.
Yeah.
You should have kept it in the box. It's no longer a collector's item. You're such a fucking weirdo. Who are you friends with, Gemma?
Right.
Oh no, that's a collectible, Katie. We don't take that out of the box.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you can play with it.
Yeah. Honestly, I like the therapist looking at her. She's like, oh no, it's like those are Aunt Gemma's toys. We can't play with those. And the therapist just looking at Aunt Gemma like, the fuck is wrong with you?
The therapist who like didn't do shit that was worth jack shit until like halfway through the movie.
Well, I'm pretty sure. I don't even know if that was the therapist. I'm pretty sure that was just the CPS worker.
Oh,
just coming
yeah,
by,
it
just
was.
being like, I'm just here to spend 45 minutes with you and Katie. Doing what? Doing whatever? Like what you normally do? And it's just like, well, normally I go to my room and I work and I tell her to get fucked.
See, yeah, and for me, I'd be like, well, I was just about to take a shower, which means that it was going to be a one-person concert for 45 minutes. So Katie could do fuck all. I don't give a shit. I'm going to go take my shower.
My shower comes first. All right. Other honorable mentions.
Oh, yeah. My second honorable mention was also Specs and Tucker, and it was at the opposite end of the investigation. This is after the climax of the movie, and I know that the rest of our scenes are going to be in the thick of it, so
Sure.
I'm not going to say anything that's happened up till this point, but there's a moment where Tucker tells Specs, you're going to write a book, and my photos are going to be the main selling point. And Specs is like, well, not the main selling point. And Tucker's like, no, the main selling point. And they're meant to be the comic relief of the movie.
Oh, they do it really well, too.
They do it so well.
I do like when they first came in and, I think it's Renee that says, where's Elise? And Specs or Tucker says, oh, Elise always sends us first. And he says, weeds out the nut jobs.
Yep.
Elise is like, could give a shit. Just go there and just make sure they're not weird. And then just call me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Tucker's coming in here with like steampunk looking bullshit gun stuff to like point at the walls and make sure that there's no radio waves.
Oh, don't forget the little like slide thing.
Yeah.
Little,
yeah. Or the little fucking Viewmaster.
Viewmaster. I was like, what the fuck was that thing called? I don't remember. I remember seeing one as a child, but I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah. He's coming in with a fucking steampunk Nerf gun and a Viewmaster.
And a Viewmaster.
He's like, all right, I'm going to do some real research here. And it's like, yeah, we're weeding out the nut jobs.
Yeah. You're weeding out the nut jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds great.
And then we get into my actual favorite scene.
Oh.
So after Elise, Specs, and Tucker do their initial investigation of the Lambert home, they confirm that there's something that's going on, and they inform Josh and Renee that Dalton isn't in a coma, but rather he astral projected too close to the sun, and he's stuck in a place that Elise calls the further. Josh feels that the team is feeding them a bunch of bullshit in an attempt to profit off their heartache and asks them to leave. So once they're gone, Josh goes up into Dalton's room and he says something to the effect of like, "Where are you, buddy? Oh, no, you're here. I know you're here. I know you can hear me. Please just let me know that you can hear me. I need to know that you can hear me." And he repeats this. And then suddenly a picture that Dalton had drawn falls off the wall. And Josh goes over and picks up the picture. And when he picks up the picture, the camera pans up to the rest of the photos that are on that wall.
Right.
And I'm like, if you would have opened your fucking eyes one single time, you moved. You went from one house to the other, took those pictures off the wall, took them to the new house, put them
back
on
up
the wall. And every single one of those tells you what's happening right now.
Right.
There's the red door. There's the guy with the red face. There's him being out of his body, astral projecting.
Yeah.
And Elise tells him this, and he didn't believe it.
Yep. He doesn't believe it until that moment that he sees the pictures.
Yeah.
Right? Because like Renee at this point has almost gone crazy trying to give him all of these reasons why something is happening and they need Elise's help.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, if you would have focused for one fucking second on the things that your kid was actually producing, you would have been like, something's wrong. I know. Something's happening.
Oh, absolutely.
And then when Elise confirmed what you already saw in the pictures, you'd be like, oh, we're getting this shit done right now.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And I don't blame Renee at all because I remember texting you at one point about how like I was wondering if Josh in hindsight was the stepdad because it really seemed like he could give a shit. Fucking poor Renee is downstairs. She's feeding all 3 kids. She's trying to unpack. She's like on the phone with somebody and he's just upstairs just like picking out his gray hairs and like flossing his teeth and then he comes downstairs and he's like, "All right, see, you gotta go." And she says, "You're not gonna take the kids to school?" "Oh, no, sorry, I can't." "Are you gonna pick them up later?" "No, I'm busy." And she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Piggybacking on that, there is a moment later on when this stuff's been happening and it's before Elise and team do their second investigation.
Right.
And he is telling Renee that like he has to work late, he has to grade these tests, like all that kind of stuff. I don't feel like they ever came around to why he was doing that.
I think he was doing that because he was grieving and he didn't want to do it with his wife around.
Okay.
In my opinion, that's what he was doing because obviously he wasn't cheating on her. He wasn't going to the bar and getting drunk. I think he was delaying the inevitable. If I stay here and I sit here and yes, all of the papers have been graded and I should go home, but if I go home, I have to accept the reality that my son is in a coma. Okay. And I don't like have a relationship with my wife and I feel like my life is falling apart. Like that's kind of where my head is at.
Okay. I think for some reason I didn't connect those dots,
but
that does make a lot of sense.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Because it's just like,
you're just like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, because he was, in the best way that character can, he was supporting her and even like picked up and moved everything to this new spot and all that. And then all of a sudden he's just like, no, I have to work late.
It seemed like a very detached moment. Yeah. And I agree with you. I do like that they kind of left it up to your interpretation. They didn't flat out spell it out. Like he wasn't sitting there like just crying. He looked like he was just sitting there, just delaying, just saying, I don't want to go home because then I don't want to have to deal with it. And that was when she was like sitting on the steps with the bloody sheets. Yeah. And just like waiting to confront him.
Yeah. I'm glad that you connected those dots for me because that makes it more impactful, like, or at least it makes that make a little bit more sense too. But that is all of my favorites.
That's all your favorites?
That's all my favorites. I'm excited to hear yours.
You will be very happy to know that I didn't have any of your scenes as my favorite or honorable mention. This is super fun because, like, I feel like in some cases, in some of the movies that we've watched, the scary scene is fucking obvious. The
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
scene's fucking obvious.
Yeah.
And I kind of like when we can bounce back and forth and bring up scenes that like, you know, you didn't bring up or that I didn't bring up.
Especially when we get into scariest on this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are so many fucking scary scenes in this movie
Yeah.
that like if we picked both of them, that's just a testament to like we've spent a lot of years together.
Too much time together.
Yeah.
I know that's always really fun because like we don't talk about our notes beforehand because that's kind of part of the fun too.
No, and we don't watch the movies together.
No,
either,
we
so.
don't. Nope. No. At least not so far. I'm sure at one point we will.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, so I will do my honorable mentions first. So the first honorable mention I have is one of the first hauntings that Renee gets when she's just home alone with Callie and Dalton. And she's downstairs. She's like trying to play on her piano and Callie's crying, right? So she goes up and she settles her down and she comes back down and she hears something on the baby monitor. And at first it just sounds like heavy breathing, right? But then eventually it sounds like a man. And he sounds like he's saying like, I want it. Give it to me. Give it to me right now. And you hear like this big bang. And then Callie starts screaming, crying. And so Renee just runs upstairs. She busts open the door. And there's, I don't think anybody's home. It happens again later on, but she just bursts through. Callie's hysterical, and she just picks her up and just kind of doesn't see anything. And so that's one of my honorable mention scenes.
I love that we just talked about how like our scenes are different this time.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my honorable mentions for scariest.
Oh, is it really? Because it's a good fucking
Yeah.
scene. It's a really good scene. And I like how later, because I'm pretty sure, like I said, it happens again, but this time Josh is home. And so when Renee hears, because it doesn't have the same like I want it now, bang, Callie crying. It was just like she heard something on the baby monitor and Callie started crying and she ran up there and opened the door and there's a man who is standing right behind Callie's bassinet and she screams like Josh, come here, and she walks out of the door but she doesn't go very far and he comes to her and she says there's a man in Callie's room, because I'm pretty sure she grabs Callie. She grabs Callie and runs out the room. And so when he goes to open it, that dude's gone. But like unless he went out the window and he did it silently,
there was nowhere for him to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, that room had one entrance.
One entrance, one window.
Yeah.
It was a very small room, you know.
Yeah.
I don't even think it had a closet in it. It might have in hindsight, but
yeah,
you know.
I don't know.
My second favorite scene for honorable mention, I'm just looking at these two, but I really think this one actually really like got me. Because my favorite scene is always kind of the one that like makes me have some sort of reaction, whether I laugh or like I have like a kind of a moment. So the other honorable mention that I had was when Josh goes into the further to save Dalton, and time kind of works differently in the further, and so he runs into that family that are like sitting on the couch, and then he like walks by the woman and he's trying to talk to her at first, but she's obviously not listening to him. And then all of a sudden she's in the other room. He hears 4 gunshots and walks into the other room and she's killed the people that are on the couch. That was like one of my honorable mentions for favorite, because I love the kind of stop motion acting they did for all of the people in the further.
Oh my God. And the smile.
And the music, like the piano, like,
Yeah.
you know, keys and things like that. Like, it was a good fucking scene.
It was really good. In the music that they use in this movie, instead of being very like ambient, a lot of bass, like that sort of thing, it is strings and piano.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
And it's stark. It's like, it's loud. Like watching this in the theater, it would have like made you jump every single time. And not necessarily because what you're seeing is like super scary, but it's just like, it's something about those notes that are played that makes your heart jump.
Yeah. And it's almost like what they did was they used a classical music style and coupled it with more of an antiquated filming technique.
Yeah.
And somehow that actually came out scarier than what they were using with CGI and stuff like that at this time.
Yeah.
And the one gripe, it was the one negative that I wrote about this movie when I was watching it, was that I despise when horror movies do that thing where the dialogue is super quiet and the jump scares are super loud, because I think it's a cop-out.
I think it's a cop-out too.
And this does that. But it was in such a unique way that I kind of give them a pass with.
It does a lot of firsts in this movie that you can kind of give it a lot of leeway and a lot of credit for.
Yeah.
And it definitely it wrote a part of the genre.
Oh yeah.
For that time frame.
Yeah.
So
this is easily one of, if not the scariest movie we've covered so far.
You really think so?
In my opinion.
In your zeitgeist?
Yeah.
Zeitgeist, is that the word?
Yeah.
I don't know what the definition of that word is. Maybe I shouldn't use it.
I think zeitgeist is supposed to be like what's relevant in your sphere.
Oh, okay.
Sort of thing.
Okay. Then that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know.
Because like what we've covered so far, we have a lot of like atmospheric things that we've covered so far. And they do hit like really well. But I think this has that really good coupling of like an atmosphere that's really unsettling mixed with jump scares that are super effective.
I got you because it's less about like making you feel something internal, like internal terror or like internal like anxiety, and more about like actually like scaring you in that moment with like whatever the scenes are. I'll give you that. I will give you that.
And I think looking back, because Paranormal Activity to me was one of the scariest movies I had ever watched.
Sure.
And going back and watching it again now, it didn't hit as hard. This hit just as hard as the first time.
Okay, that's a pretty good point too, right? Like if it can stand the test of time, because I definitely agree with you. There have been several movies that we've covered that I'm like, I remember the first time I watched this and it was terrifying. And in like retrospect, when I watch it now, it's entertaining and I can see why it was scary, but it doesn't punch the same. Like if I could give myself a little lobotomy and come back to this, like I would, love to experience it again. But I agree that Insidious kind of still packs that punch.
Yeah.
Even 15 years later.
Yeah. And I watched it with my AirPods on noise cancellation mode.
Oh God.
Yeah. In the dark. And it was hit.
Poif.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have another honorable, or is this the real deal?
Fave. This is the fave one.
Ooh, okay.
So remember how earlier we were talking about how like the haunting followed them from one house to the other?
Yeah.
So this scene happens when Renee, again by herself with Dalton, she's unpacking the new house, and she keeps like seeing something out of the corner of her eye, something like running around the house, and she thinks it's a little boy at first. She thinks it's Dalton. And then my favorite scene is when she's outside, and because she's looking for him, she hears the record player playing, and it's playing Tiptoe Through the Tulips. She's walking up along the side of the house, and she looks through one of her windows, and in front of the record player is a little boy, probably about Dalton's age, and he is in like not old-fashioned clothing, almost like very formal, like Sunday church clothing.
Very formal, but definitely dated.
Yeah, dated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just like doing a little dance like in front of the record player while he's listening to it. And as she moves from one window to the other, it's like, it's not even like a pane of wall. And then she goes to the next window, he's gone. And so then she goes back inside the house and she's looking for him, right? Because she can see both exits now. She goes from room to room and she finds him in Dalton's room. Yeah. And it's when she like opens the closet door and he scares her. He's like, boo. And then she screams and he just like laughs. And his face looks super weird. Yeah. And he like laughs, he cackles, and then he just runs out of the room and she doesn't see him again. And that scene to me, like the entirety of the scene, I was like, holy shit.
It is, the tension in that scene is palpable.
Oh yeah.
It is.
You can imagine Renee just being like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
You know what I love about us? What I love about us is that even when we have different scenes, we have the same scenes, because those were both my honorable mentions for the scariest scene.
That's fucking awesome. God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's all I had for favorite.
Sick. Should we move into scariest?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for scariest, those were both of my honorable mentions. I labeled them as I want it now. And then Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Mm-hmm.
So then my scariest is,
I know which one's your scariest.
Yeah,
I know it. I'm pretty sure I know
you
it.
probably know it.
I'm pretty sure I know it. I think it's one of my honorable mentions.
So prior to having Elise come, I think it's right after the Tiptoe Through the Tulips scene.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Josh, Renee, and Renee's mom are all sitting at the dining table. And they're having a conversation about Renee having these experiences. And Josh's mom is confirming that these experiences are happening. And she's saying that she knows somebody who is kind of in the sphere of the paranormal and knows how to address these situations. And that she could call her and get some help. And while they're having this conversation, this is one of those rare moments in this movie that there isn't a lot of tension. You think it's going to be just kind of some exposition to set up the rest of the story.
Sure, with her dream sequence.
With her dreams, with the dream sequence and all that. And so you're at rest for this scene. You're like, I can breathe now.
Yeah, there's like some tension that's being built, but I understand what you're saying. Where you're just like, oh, okay, I'm just getting a moment. Like we already saw the scary thing just a second ago.
Yeah,
so like
we saw the tiptoe through the tulips.
This is a valley.
Yeah, this is one of the valleys. We've done the peak. We've got a little bit. And then just as you get comfortable, the camera pans and the red face guy is right behind them. And this is easily, I'm not even overstating this at this point, this is the scariest scene I have seen in a movie in probably ever. Yeah. This jump scare was perfect.
It was so well done.
It was perfectly executed. Later on in this movie, the red face guy to me is gimmicky and I don't really care for it anymore. Right. But in this moment, he was the scariest thing I had ever seen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree with you because I'll tell you, like, this is backing up. Well, no, it's going forward a little bit. But to me, one of the scariest representations of this lipstick demon is before you see him and you just hear Elise describing him to Specs.
Oh my God. The like light whispering of like, he's got a red face. He has
yeah, right.
Yeah. He has really
and like in his drawing, his depiction of what she's describing is what's scary when they look at it and they look at the wall and they're just like, oh my God. Right. But I agree with you with that. It's a great moment where like, I'm totally blanking on grandma's name, but she's talking about how she had a dream that she was in the house.
I want to say it's Lorraine.
I think you might be right.
I think it's Lorraine.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
She's talking about how she was sleeping at their house and she knew everybody was asleep, but there was somebody else that was there and it was in Dalton's room. And so when she went in there, she said it was in the corner and it was just talking to her. Like she was like, what are you doing here? And he says like, I'm a guest. And she says, what do you want? And he just pointed to Dalton.
And it's when she's like, he has black feet, he has black arms, he is entirely black, but he has a red face.
Yeah, and it's like it's pretty close after that point where like Lorraine is just like he wanted Dalton and like I just knew that no, that's kind of how it ends. She just said, I knew he wanted Dalton and I knew it was for like nefarious purposes. And then when she looks up from when she was talking, the red-faced demon is right behind Josh. And it has like another like kind of like audio cue and she freaks out like Jack Torrance in The Shining when he like wakes up from his nightmare. Like she's like, oh my fucking God, you know, and Renee also reacts too. And I don't know if Renee saw the demon, but she reacts just knowing that like Lorraine saw it.
Yeah.
She saw it. It was somewhere in the house. Right.
The demon in that moment too, if I remember correctly, he's like giddy. He's like smiling at them.
Yeah, I don't remember because it so happens gross. In such a flash. I mean, he's probably doing that like classic, like tongue out, like kiss kind of move, right? Like he's probably just doing some weird demon shit. I don't know.
It's literally like if you were to take Darth Maul, and make him spooky.
Yeah, I think Darth Maul was like the first thing that came to my mind when I first watched this movie. Yes, fucking awesome scene. It is one of my.
Is that the scene you thought it was going to be?
Yes.
I think I had texted you about
That's
it
why.
being like that thing fucks. Like that is the scariest.
That's why
scene.
I knew it was your favorite scariest scene. Or yeah. That's how I knew.
Do you have any honorable mentions that haven't already been mentioned?
I don't. I only put that one as my like scariest honorable mention. But I will say, just in hindsight, while thinking about it, I feel like when I write these down, it's hard to like think back through the entire movie, but just talking about it, that first time when Elise is walking through the house. I initially really like when she walks in and you can immediately tell that like she can tell that something's off.
Yeah.
Like even before they do, like Tucker's talking about, like, oh, we can go and we can do tests at the other house if you want to. And she's looking around. She's not paying attention to them. She's like, I don't think that's going to be necessary, gentlemen. You know, she can just already tell like
Yeah.
it's fucking home.
Lynn Shay does an incredible job.
Oh,
in
yeah.
that role.
She definitely.
She does. She
She's such a
walks in
good-
and she has that like the medium kind of like void to her eyes, but then at the same time is focusing on something that just everybody else can't see.
It's like this perception.
Yeah.
Right. And not like even tuning other things out. Like I felt like Vera Farmiga had a very good
yeah.
affect too when she
Yeah.
was playing Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, my scariest scene is the seance with Elise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really liked this scene. So Elise has told Josh and Renee about how Dalton is he's a very experienced astral projector.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it his whole life and he thinks he's dreaming. And this time he's gone too far and he's lost. And not only is he lost, but he's probably been kidnapped by somebody who wants to keep him away from his body as long as possible, because the longer he's away, the more like kind of open his body is to other spirits being able to get into him. And she describes to them that like most spirits, they just didn't want to inhabit other bodies because they crave life and they want to experience it again.
Yeah.
But I like how she uses the title. She says, but others, you know, have a more insidious agenda. But I like it. You know, she decides, so what we need to do is we need to find where he is. So I need to go into the further and find where he's at. Mm-hmm. And so they go into Dalton's room and they set up a little table. And Elise tells Josh and Renee, like, you know, I don't know if Lorraine's there too. Is she there?
I don't think so.
I don't think she is. I think it's just Specs and Tucker and Renee and Josh and Elise.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, it is because Lorraine took Foster and Callie.
Yes.
And
she
they're
took the
somewhere
other
else.
kids.
Okay.
Yeah, so that they're safe somewhere else.
Yes. So anyways, they decide what they're going to do is Tucker's just in control of all of the electrical equipment. Renee and Josh are just there for support. And Elise is going to put on this kind of like gas mask thing that I think they used purely for aesthetic purposes, that has like a long tube that comes out the front and it's attached to a pair of headphones that Specs is wearing, because when she's in the further, she speaks in a tone that's so low that he can't hear her. So he puts on the headphones. So it's essentially like wearing a stethoscope,
Yeah.
so that while she's whispering, he can hear her and he can write down what she's saying.
Yeah, there must be like a little lapel mic or something in the mask that she's wearing. I don't think they actually like explain why it is that he can hear her with the headphones on.
It's because
there must be like a little mic or something.
No, it's like the tube that comes out of her face like is attached to the headphones that he's wearing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it's like literally like a stethoscope. Like he's wearing the headphones and she's holding the microphone right next to her.
It's essentially the edgelord, two cans with a string between them.
Yes, that's exactly it, which is really funny that you bring that up, because they use two cans and a string in like the second or third Insidious movie. I shit you not. And it's actually a pretty good gimmick. But so they're doing this, and Elise is looking for Dalton. She finds him. She finds out where he is. She can't get to him because she can't interact with anything in the further. It just seems like she can only walk through it. And I think also, I don't think they explain it, but I think Elise can't really, it's not that she can't do anything in the further, it's that she can't really spend a lot of time in there because there are other entities in there that like she's been around the further for so long, but like she's made enemies.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't want to stay in there for too long because like she can draw attention to herself.
Yeah, it almost came across as like if she's in there for too long, things are easily attracted to her.
Yeah,
And
right.
so she has to like get in and get out.
Mm-hmm. Which is definitely true, because while they're going through the seance, like there are a bunch of spirits that show up, probably just because both she's not there and Dalton is not there, right? So it's like, but anyways, it kind of hits a peak where Specs is writing for Elise, finds out where Dalton is. Dalton's like, I can't leave. Like, I'm stuck here. You know, you have to be quiet. Like, if they hear me, they'll hurt me. And she's like, they won't hurt you. Like, you just need to come to me. You just need to follow my voice, Dalton. And he finally says like, oh no, like they heard you. And then Specs just starts writing down like what the ghosts are saying. Like they don't even really make it out to be the red-faced demon. It could literally be anybody else that's in that room. But the part of this that makes it really my scariest scene is after a minute there, Elise just like freaks out and she does this like horrible like banshee like scream and then passes out. And right after that, you can hear this whole time Dalton's heart monitor.
Yeah.
It's like going off.
Yeah.
And then finally it just flatlines. And the four of them look over beside Elise and they see Dalton's not in bed. They're like, oh my God, where's Dalton? And they turn back and he's standing right there by Specs and Tucker. And he takes his hand and he just makes like an open palm and he just slams it on the table. And all five of them launch away from the table. And I was like, oh.
And I didn't note it, but hearing you explain that scene now, using the heart monitor as ambient noise throughout a lot of this movie was super effective.
It was super effective.
And I may not have recognized it while I was watching it, but now looking back on it, I'm like, that fucks.
That's super clever. That's super clever. Yeah, it's just like a quick audio cue of just like something's happening, right? Direct your attention back. And then that like, we see this all the time where they do like a quick pan, they're not there, and then they do another pan and they're right there. And I fucking love that shit.
And thinking, hearing a heart monitor noise is something that's unsettling to everybody. We all know what that noise is.
Yep.
It causes us all anxiety because it makes us think either somebody's sick, somebody's in the hospital. Like it's not a noise that you hear when everything is going well.
Absolutely.
And it reminds me of how when Billie Eilish was writing Bad Guy, the sound that's in that song that repeats is the sound of a dentist drill because she wants it to be something that's unsettling to you.
Ooh.
And they use that in a different way where it's like, this is an unsettling noise. This is going to set the scene and it's going to help provide this atmosphere even if you don't recognize it.
Yeah, it's it's happening subconsciously, which is what's really cool about it. Yeah, I like that a lot. Done. I also like kind of the ending to that scene right before Elise is able to get whatever has possessed Dalton out of him, right? She's grabbed onto Dalton and she's grabbed him by the hair and by his hand. And she's just saying like, leave this vessel. And while she's doing that, other spirits are coming into the room. And that same man that was like hanging out in Callie's room like assaults Renee, just like picks her up and starts licking her face, and like Josh can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
She's like, what the fuck, bro? At least it was a PG-13 movie and that's all he did.
Yeah, I actually saw somebody who, it was in a Reddit forum somewhere where they were like, this is easily the scariest PG-13 movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty, some PG-13 movies can really toe the line, which is impressive, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for scariest. I don't know if you have any quotes from this movie.
I have one.
You have one? I have two.
Okay.
Should we do them now before trivia?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So my one is, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And Tucker says that. And then Specs replies with, words are worth 1,000 words too. And that's in a scene where, circling way back, it's when they're talking about how Specs should write a book and Tucker's pictures are going to be the main selling point of the book.
Right.
And they're like going back and forth and Tucker's like, a picture's worth 1,000 words. And Specs is like, well, words are worth 1,000 words too.
So it's 1,000 words on a piece of paper, Tucker. I like how you went with the like amusing quotes. I went with two like very philosophical quotes that are both spoken by Elise, but they're both just like quotes that I fucking love. The first one is, the universe is deathless. It is deathless because having no finite self, it stays infinite. A sound man, by not advancing himself, stays the further ahead of himself.
Ooh, okay.
And then these are both things that she speaks to Josh before he goes into the further, but they're both things that like they've still stuck in my brain. Like this one is my favorite quote. I don't know if it's because it rhymes or if it's just the way that Lynn Shay like performed it, but it's, now you're outside. Let my voice be your guide. Keep a steady stride. Into the further you go.
I like that.
I don't know why. Like when I listened to it last night, that final line makes me emotional.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just this idea of just like, all right, buckle up, bro. Go. Get in there.
Yeah.
And especially with what he sees when he's in there too.
And I think, part of the reason potentially why it could lead into a little bit of an emotional space is because we can translate the further into anything. Like
right.
in the frame of that specific stance, the further can just be life.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like to them, it's a very like, this is where you have to go to accomplish this goal, like that sort of thing. To us, it's like, well, the further can just be like a difficult conversation.
Absolutely.
It can be, it can be anything. And there's a lot of philosophy that comes from her in this movie that a lot of people can like translate as being super woo woo, but it's actually like rooted in a lot of big psychology concepts
and practicality.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I feel like she said this to Josh in this moment because he's in the further at this point. She knows that he's gone into the further. And because time works differently there, she's almost just giving him like a mantra to take with him while he goes, especially because she probably knows that as soon as he kind of like realizes where he's at, he might panic and he might feel really disoriented. And so it's just like a way to just be like, listen to the words I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay. Just keep going.
Especially since she knows that this is a place he has been.
Yeah.
A lot.
But has just forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they helped him to forget it. Sort of.
That was
thing.
interesting. I was trying to explain this movie to Harrison last night because he hadn't seen it. And so I was trying to explain to him how like his dad had to like not relearn because he always knew how to do it, but like knew how to astral project and passed it on to his son. But like his mother and his mother's friend made him forget because his connection to it was like posing a danger to him, posing like a severe primary threat to him. So they were like, okay, cut it off. You can't know about that anymore. We're just going to protect you from it. And that would have been just fine and dandy if Dalton hadn't also inherited it and then had nobody to really teach him or inform him because dad didn't know any better or didn't know it to begin with.
Yeah, because if Josh wouldn't have forgotten, I mean, truly, as soon as Dalton would have went into his like quote coma,
right,
and then things would have started happening, he probably would have been like, oh, I know exactly what this is. I know what we need to do.
Yep.
Let's go
Easy
do it.
Peasy, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's interesting. It is also interesting too. This is just getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but like at the very end of this movie, they really put it in this like neat little package where both Josh and Dalton go through the mind erasure like thing.
Yeah.
And then they make 5 more movies.
Right.
And, you know, I appreciated that, like, the second, the third, and I want to say even the 4th movie don't have anything to do with the Lambert family. It has to do with different families that Elise helped when she was either first coming up or, like, when it was, like, in tandem to helping the Lambert family or right after or right beforehand because she died, right, in Insidious. But then the most recent Insidious movie, The Red Door, Dalton is going to college and Josh is taking him to college and they have a very strained, very like isolated relationship from one another. And then I watched it, but I don't quite remember. But then like they have to go back into the further in that movie. So like I don't quite remember if they like had to unlearn it, relearn it again or how that all played out. But I just found it really funny.
I have only watched this one.
Only the first one. Yeah. Yeah. I've watched all of them. But some of them I feel like I'm getting, it bleeds through because James Wan has like the Conjuring universe and then the Insidious franchise and then Annabelle and like they're all kind of like.
They all kind of tie together in some way or another.
Yeah, they're like, they're not all necessarily canon. Like Elise doesn't show up in an Annabelle movie from what I remember, but like the Warrens definitely do. Like the Warrens, like they go back and forth between whichever universe they're in. And so I just feel like, I'm like, is the movie that I'm thinking about an Insidious movie or is it a Conjuring movie?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think even though the Warrens don't go into Insidious, I'm pretty sure that Insidious in another way ties into the Conjuring universe.
I feel like
and
it
that
does.
There's like,
I feel like it does
Yeah.
because I feel like Elise ends up doing like a prequel movie, but it has something to do with like a case that the Warrens also like
Yeah.
the Enfield.
Enfield
Haunting.
Manor in
Enfield Manor.
the UK.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right one, but I want to say that like there was an Insidious movie that like it touched on something that like also the Warrens had done or had also helped on, but I can't. Like I said, I can't fucking remember. I've seen so many of these movies at this point.
Yeah, and I think I definitely like I've watched the first Insidious, I've watched The Conjuring, I've watched The Nun. But like I haven't watched many of the sequels for these things.
Yeah.
And I should. Well, I will. We'll
Yeah.
probably cover them.
Yeah,
So,
we probably will. So I forgot that the second Insidious movie is actually like a direct sequel, right? Because
okay.
Josh becomes possessed by the woman in black at the end of it. And so the second movie kind of like tells that second half of like when he's fucking evil and like they have to find like Elise in the further and Dalton has to go back in there and like help get Josh back because he's stuck in there.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
It's a really good one. In fact, I feel like we should put that one on our list because that's the one that has like you get to learn a little bit more about Josh's backstory because
okay.
because he's stuck in the further for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's just the woman in black that's inhabiting his body. But it's really good. We should definitely put it on our list.
Let's do it.
It's a good one because then it like the rest of them, at least until they wrap back around to the Red Door, it just goes into other prequels of like Lynn goes and does this one and then she does that one and she does this one and then they came back and did the Red Door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's see here. Let's do some trivia for 2010's Insidious. The film was shot in just 3 weeks.
That kind of makes sense.
It never surprises me when a movie doesn't take that long to shoot because really like a lot of the time that's spent is just editing and, you know, like doing all the marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The film was originally going to be named The Further.
Okay.
Been kind of cool. I like the name Insidious.
Yeah. I mean, when they say it in the movie, that line is impactful.
It's very impactful.
Yeah.
It's a good word too. Like
Yeah. It's not super commonly used, but it hits when it hits.
Yeah. 33 violins were used in the theme music.
Nice.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
This made just over $1 million from a budget of $1.5 million, making it one of the most profitable films in 2011.
Nice.
I know.
I'm trying to think of even what else I know that came out in 2011.
Skyrim.
True. True.
In 2015, there was an Insidious-themed maze at Universal Studios Orlando for the annual event of Halloween Horror Nights. The maze was based on the 3 Insidious films released at the time. In 2024, there was another Insidious-themed haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights Orlando and Hollywood, featuring all 5 movies.
Ooh.
That's pretty crazy.
I wish I could have done that.
I've only ever been to like one Halloween-themed theme park where they just like... You can go normally during the day, but then they close the whole park at like 5 or 6 o'clock and they reopen it at like 7 or 8. And you can't get in unless you're a certain age.
Yeah.
Or you have like a band that somebody's paid for. And after that point, most of the rides are shut down, but like they've set up all of these attractions that are like haunted houses that you walk through. Mm-hmm. And it was really fun. I remember it being really fun.
Was it Not Scary Farm?
No, it was in Six Flags.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to say it was either Six Flags or it was Great America, if that's still open.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the theme parks that was down there, and I
Yeah.
couldn't even tell you like what it was called, some Halloween bonanza thing. But the haunted houses that we did were really cool.
Yeah.
They're really cool. They were all themed, right? Like, you know, one was like a butcher house, like a Saw-esque butcher house, you know, and another one was like a clown rave, you know, like just, there were all sorts of different ones. My favorite part, honestly, was like walking from place to place. You have all of these scare actors that are walking around, you know, and they chase people down, or some of them had like skid plates on their hands and on their shoes. And so they'd come running at you, right? And they'd land on the ground and skid and like create a bunch of sparks on the ground.
Nope.
Nope.
And just
nope,
like
nope, 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 nope.
I've seen a really great scare actor. I should send it to you the next time I see it, where she'll go up to people and like haze them, but she's in this super creepy like clown makeup. Like there was one day that someone was tying their shoe and she ran up, she's like, "Are you tying your shoe? Remember to do the loop-de-loop, and then you fall and then you got your shoes tied." And she's like selling it like 1,000%, but the
Yeah.
person's just like, help me. Let's see.
We'll have to do like, okay. So if they'll let us, like, say this gets popular or something.
Yeah.
If they'll let us, we need to like record us going through the Fright Night haunted house in Portland. It's like, I think it's supposed to be 3 haunted houses. And it's supposed to be like the scariest attraction.
Oh, Jesus
ever.
Christ.
And in the middle of it, they have this thing. I've always really wanted to do this because this doesn't bother me. It bothers a lot of people, but it's a coffin that you go and you get in, and then it's a being buried alive simulator.
Oh,
where
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
where, like,
super cool.
You can like feel the dirt going on top of the coffin, and you can like hear bugs and like that sort of stuff.
You want to do that?
I think I'd be fine, but I also don't care about tight spaces and like that kind of stuff.
And bugs.
Yeah. I've
Indiana Jones bugs.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about like when you get on the Indiana Jones ride and they just like blow a bunch of air at you and they just pretend like it's a bunch of hissing cockroaches.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what they're going to do to you.
Like cockroaches don't bother me. Like I'm fine with that.
What if you just had like a fucking meltdown in there?
Right.
Right? You just like get halfway through it and you just like chicken out, but then you can't get out of there. So you just like fucking lose your shit in there.
That's the fun part too, is that there's a screen and everybody outside of it can see you.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Even better. Well, then you know what? I'll hold the camera for you on the outside.
Perfect.
Actually, no, I think it'd be better if you held it on the inside.
I think it would too. ¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué no los dos? Ooh, this is actually pretty interesting. Ethan Hawke turned down the role of Josh Lambert, which ultimately went to Patrick Wilson. Hawke would then later appear in Sinister in 2012. Not only do Insidious and Sinister use a negative adjective as the title, both are also supernatural horror movies produced by Jason Blum, in which both Hawke and Wilson are the head of their respective families who move into a house that is haunted by a strange entity and specifically targets children.
Huh. I haven't watched Sinister except for once when it first came out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to do that one.
It still hits pretty hard, honestly. This film shares parallels with the first Saw film. Both are written by James Wan and Lee Winnell, with the latter playing a significant role in both films.
Mm-hmm.
Both films were directed by Wan. And to add, Jay LaRose, the long-haired fiend seen by Renee in Callie's room, is also a part of Saw. He plays Troy, the unfortunate victim of the classroom chain trap featured near the beginning of Saw 3.
Oh,
That's fucking cool.
That is cool.
I didn't fucking know that. Okay, this is actually funny. I didn't realize this until we were literally just talking about it, but Josh's mother is named Lorraine. Coincidentally, Josh would then go to play Ed Warren, who's married to Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
Also directed by James Wan.
God damn. James Wan really had a monopoly on the horror industry for like a while.
The horror and oddly enough, Aquaman?
What the fuck?
Yeah. He directed Aquaman with Jason Momoa.
See, and I don't watch any superhero / comic book, any of that sort of thing.
Right.
That's what the fuck. I shouldn't say that. Chase made me sit down and watch like a bunch of them when he and I first became friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of my favorites was Ant-Man. I loved Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, I mean, my favorite Spider-Man, but that's beside the point. Although the old woman demon is played by a man, it is not until they start working on the sequel that the filmmakers decided that the character was actually a man dressed as a woman. I'll give more context here.
The not Daniel Radcliffe woman.
Not Daniel Radcliffe woman. The old woman demon in the beginning of the movie, and she shows up several more times all the way up until when she possesses Josh at the very end. And originally that woman was casted by a man because James Wan wanted her to look scary from a distance. Wanted her to look like she wasn't right. That she just wasn't in the right, like, wasn't necessarily going for a man dressed as a woman, was just really going for that like uncanny valley effect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, not going for drag, just going for like, this isn't quite right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the sequel that they really they doubled down on that idea, and then they created a reason why this man was dressing in drag that wasn't for just like his choice necessarily, right? It was this idea that like he had been abused growing up and his mother had forced him to be his sister,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
And had basically like stripped his identity, forced him to wear dresses, and would like beat him and like would abuse him if he tried to do other things, tried to do boy things or tried to dress in boy clothes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they kind of like dial it up to 11.
Yeah, it's kind of the inverse of what that typically is.
Yeah.
Whereas like women are forced to act as men and be as men because the father wanted a boy. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Right. Like in Krampus.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. And like, I know that lots of men now like do drag particularly for like artistic purposes,
Yeah.
like expressing their personality and like showing another side of themselves, right? But in the context of these films, it's very much like he's almost doing it out of like a obligation, because
Yeah.
even after his mother dies, he's like being haunted by her ghost, and she's still there like scolding him and telling him like he's not good enough unless he's a woman. And then he becomes a serial killer.
Speaking of referencing Krampus, isn't it weird that we finally gotten to like the point of doing this where we're referencing things that we've already covered?
That's kind of like my favorite thing to do now is to be
Yeah.
like, oh, remember when we talked about this in this episode?
Yeah.
toss, like,
Right? Like.
The composer, Joseph Bashara, also acts in the film. He plays the demon who tried to take Dalton's soul. He plays the lipstick face demon.
Ooh.
That's actually pretty cool.
That is cool.
Leads directly into this. When Dalton's sheets are found covered in red handprints, it is mistaken for blood, but it's actually red lipstick. The red-faced demon uses his hands to apply his signature red look, leaving the handprints, showing how close he already was to Dalton at this point in the film.
When he's in there just like sharpening his claws, to me, that's when it pulled me out of it.
It did, right?
I was like,
It's
yeah,
like,
whatever.
oh my
At this point,
God,
that's
come
like,
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. Let me see here. There was also another thing I was going to bring up, just the same way that like they wanted the old woman to be played by a man just to have that uncanny valley feeling. They did the same thing with that boy that came out of the closet.
Okay.
But I don't remember what the gimmick was. Like, I don't remember if they
Yeah.
had him wear like a prosthetic on his face or if they had like him being played by somebody else that looked much different. But they did something there just to make him look strange enough that it wasn't just that he was a little boy that shouldn't be there. He was quite obviously like another entity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's also not super common that we have movies that really lean into Uncanny Valley
Yeah.
to be part of the scare factor
Yeah.
for things. So this was a really interesting adaptation of that.
It's
where-
super interesting detail that didn't
Yeah.
necessarily need to be there, right?
But it was really
It was really effective.
Yeah.
I think that was the highlight I was trying to make there. Was just
Yeah.
like it's super cool when directors find ways to just instill just little tiny details that even you wouldn't perceive as like as a detail. Like
Yeah.
it would be your subconscious thinking like, oh, the heart rate monitor's not working in the background anymore where it was for the last 5 minutes and I didn't notice it until it was no longer there.
Yeah.
You're going to really like this. I'm going to end trivia with this one here.
Ooh, I'm excited. Okay.
You're going to fucking love this. So at around 55 minutes in the movie, Elise calls The Further a world far beyond our own, yet it's all around us. A place without time as we know it. It's a dark realm filled with the tortured souls of the dead, a place not meant for the living. Because of the difficulty of translating it, in Latin American Spanish, dub it simply called El Limbo. In Spain, it was called El Más Allá, or the Beyond. In theology and Christianity, limbo is a place for all the living who died before Jesus Christ, who are prevented from entering heaven until Judgment Day, when God will kill all the human race to judge living and dead, sending each other to heaven and hell in order to establish the new kingdom of God. Other inhabitants of limbo include people not in the Christian faith and children and adults who are not baptized. Limbo is a Latin word which means border. To be in the border between the world of the living and the realm of the dead.
Ooh, I like that.
That's
I
where we
like
will
that.
end trivia for today.
So, even though I'm like vehemently opposed to organized religion and really don't fuck with anything God related,
Right.
I was baptized. So,
Oh, so you good.
yeah, so I think I'm safe.
So I guess you just gonna leave my ass back here. I see how it is.
Yeah, I don't know though. I've talked so much shit about the big man upstairs that at this point he's probably like, yeah, that kind of cancels it out.
How about ratings?
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited.
I want to know what your weapon is.
Okay, so my weapon is them good old strong daddy paws, my dude.
Which one?
The Josh's hands because he
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, so-
Okay.
Yeah. So those big strong daddy paws.
Actually, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate that I find Patrick Wilson attractive.
I mean, I don't blame you. I just find Renee more attractive.
Oh yeah. They're both banging. Banging.
So is Lynn, honestly.
Oh my god. If I were to see them in like PRG climbing,
Oh my
fuck God. Yeah.
It'd be over.
Over.
Be over.
For quality, I gave this one a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so fucking good. It was really only like the last 10 minutes where
That kind of dragged a little
yeah,
bit.
well, it kind of dragged a little bit, and we got to that point where the like red face demon got a little gimmicky. He wasn't as effective as I feel like he could have been when you didn't see all of him, and he wasn't
Absolutely.
super on camera, you know.
No, I got you. And it almost feels like, I don't know, like this red-faced demon is kind of led up to believe you're kind of led up to believe that he's some huge big bad that like you could harm you or hurt you at any moment. And he really doesn't.
No.
He really just, and maybe that's just chalk up to the fact that like they can't interact with our world.
Yeah.
And I wanted, there was almost a point where like I really wanted the characters to lean more into the fact that like they have the power. Like I think at only one point does Elise tell Josh like you're the alive one. Like
Yeah.
you're being taken over by this big dude in the further, but like you need to understand that like he's dead and you're living. You're stronger than him by default. But so I just kind of felt like this big demon that they keep coming back to the fact that he's dangerous. You need to be afraid of him. But then he doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
PG-13, maybe he just can't interact. I don't know, but I can kind of understand why it just kind of feels dumb after a while.
When it's like he's the big bad, he's the scary, and then it's like, oh well, he can't get you because he's up in his office.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're setting your son free, and
Right. It was scary when like Dalton was like, "Oh my God, Dad! Like he's looking at us." Like, yeah, that was terrifying and everything. But then
Yeah.
like where like nothing really happened after that point.
No.
Right. The scariest point was probably just like Dalton and Josh like getting separated from one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
anyways.
feel like that could have been a little more effective.
That's what kind of took away from the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For scariness, I also gave it a 4 out of 5.
Ooh.
And it was because we have had one movie so far that has actually made me jump after rewatching it.
Yeah.
This one I jumped several times, and it hit just as hard as the first time I watched it.
Absolutely.
So I'm leaving that one extra point for something
For that
that's
one
really
day,
gonna
right?
get me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the scares, the engineering for like the audio, everything was very effective.
Mm-hmm.
For rewatchability, I also gave it a 4 out of 5. So I got 4s across the board.
4s across the board.
It doesn't like, it's one of those movies where I watched it, I was thoroughly entertained through like pretty much all of it, and I immediately wanted to rewatch it, partially to take more notes, partially because it was super entertaining.
Yeah.
And then also I already want to watch it for a third time to show Nick. So
Yeah, to like show it to other
Yeah.
people that you know will also enjoy it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a early 2000s like chain text. I just need to pass it on to other people, so I stopped thinking about it.
Everybody needs to lose the game. You need to lose the game. I need to lose the game.
Exactly. But yeah, so that is an average rating of 4 out of 5 for big, strong daddy hands.
Big strong daddy hands. Well, you're gonna fucking laugh because my murder weapon was those claws. Even though
That set girl.
that set girl, the one that he's literally like using like an old fashioned grinder to like grind his nails.
Yeah.
But respect, I respected it. I can't grow my nails that long because I like to rock climb. So
Right.
so for quality, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I put down, it had very clever ways to unsettle the audience. Also a great cast. I did also mention that Josh was an ass,
Yep.
which is true.
Yep.
For scariness, I gave it a 3 out of 5 claws. I thought it had really good jump scares and a really clever possession premise. It definitely didn't scare me either time that I watched it. It had really great like jump scare moments, but like the overall movie wasn't super terrifying for me.
Yeah.
And then for rewatchability, I also gave it a 4 out of 5. Mostly just because I don't feel like this movie feels as long as it is.
No.
I feel like it goes fairly quickly.
How long is it?
I want to say it's like an hour 42. I can look it up really quick.
Honestly, it feels like an hour 15.
It's very short.
Yeah.
And one thing that I put in my rewatchability score is because there are a lot of little like details in it.
Yeah.
Not only just like being able to see Dalton's pictures throughout the entire movie, even before they move and Josh sees him on the wall, to like a little audio cues and even some of the, like we were talking about, the beginning with like the casting and the fact that like it had this weird font that was like made it look like the characters were astral projecting just out of their, like, I don't know, just little tiny details like that made it just like a really great movie for its time. It's a movie that I would always recommend to people. It's a great starter movie for young, you know, children or teenagers that you want to like introduce into horror because it is scary, but it doesn't go too far.
Yeah. Yeah,
it really doesn't.
There's no blood, there's no guts.
Nope.
Like that sort of thing. It's very much so one of those movies where you can be like, this is what horror does.
I could see it still giving a kid nightmares though.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, this is what horror does. And I can see a lot of people taking that and it inspiring them to be like, okay, where does horror come from?
Absolutely.
Where has it gone? Where does it come from? Cotton-eyed red-faced demon. I don't know.
Well, I will tell you, this is just to kind of bring in a little bit of I don't know what to call this, kind of trivia from another podcast that I had talked about with my friend Eve for a while. And it was all about storytelling. And storytelling is a way for community to be built.
Yeah.
And back in the old times, one of the favorite stories to tell around campfires was scary stories.
Yes.
And we used to tell them to each other because it gave you like an escape from reality and also a way to still entertain yourself when you are no longer in this like survival mode, if that makes sense. Like when people lived nomadically and their kind of like every day was about survival, that fear was very palpable. And in the nighttime when things had kind of settled down, we continued to tell stories to scare each other, to kind of keep yourself kind of like not desensitized to that feeling.
It's primed. Like you're ready.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's also a way that like as those dangers dissipated, as we started to become more civilized, we still use storytelling as a way to ward off bad energy, to teach your children about manners and about like the outside world, right? It was a way to like scare you, but without actually putting you in danger.
Yeah. It's become a tool, which, you know, we exist in a space, like we exist in the horror space where this is more of an entertainment thing for us at this point. But there is something to be said for horror that is made for instruction.
Yes.
And it's made for teaching.
Yes.
And
okay.
It's something that's more of like a constructive use for it versus an entertainment
entertainment use, like a practical use. To answer your question earlier, this movie is an hour and 43 minutes.
Yeah, it feels like just over an hour.
It's it's very short. It's very short. It's very entertaining. Great date night movie. And if you like this movie, the sequel, in my opinion, is just as good. Like I really liked the sequel in tandem, like in relation to this one. I think they both work really well together, and they do a lot of really fun things in both movies that like it's not like they created a bunch of tropes in the first one and then they do all the same tropes in the second one. Like they make ways for it to be unique or for you to even wrap around to scenes in the first one. Like in the second movie, you find out that some of the things that happened in the first movie was because of things that happened in the second movie.
Ooh,
Does that make sense? Like some of the hauntings that happened were because of characters in the second movie interacting with their environment.
There's some actual like really good continuity there.
And I appreciate it.
I really appreciate that.
So we should definitely cover it at some
especially since like if there's been anything that's been posed as like if we were to create a second podcast, it's like a plot holes podcast.
Yeah.
Having continuity there is like it's something that speaks really well to us. It scratches our brain.
Scratches
in a really
that nice
good way.
part of your brain.
Yeah.
But before we end tonight, what have you been doing for the last week?
Fuck. What have I been doing for the last week?
I mean,
I read.
Did you?
I read. Yeah.
Read.
I guess the thing that stands out to me the most that I've read since the last time we recorded was Pet Sematary.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you finished it.
I finished it last night. When I went to bed, or when I was like considering laying down for the night, I had 100 pages left and I was like, I'm just going to finish it.
Fuck it. Yeah, 100 pages is nothing, right?
No, it's nothing. Incredible. That was such a good book. I love all of the different references that were in it. Like, if you're somebody who's already read a few things by King, you'll be like, oh, that's a reference to this.
Yeah,
that's a reference to this.
Absolutely.
There's references to The Shining, It, Salem's Lot, Cujo. Like there's quite a few in there.
That's super cool.
And it was really
It was a good book.
I was impressed.
Hell yeah.
And I do think the impact of it was maybe a little lessened because I had already watched the movie.
Yeah.
And coming out of it, Pet Sematary might actually be one of the better movie renditions of a Stephen King book.
Oh, like in terms of it being very like true to form.
Very true to form.
Got it.
Yeah. It was really good.
That's sick.
I'm really
That's
impressed.
super sick.
Yeah. Otherwise, not too much has been going on.
What about climbing?
I did get my climbing membership.
Yes.
Which has been awesome.
And the harness. Don't forget
And the harness. Got my harness. Got the membership. I've been bouldering after I lift, which I'm actually going to slow down on bouldering after I lift, especially if I know that I'm going to be doing any top roping within the next couple days.
Right.
Because my tendons in my elbows get tired.
Oh,
really
you gotta
quick,
be careful.
and
Oh,
they start to hurt. So I found that out when we went climbing together, that like even if they're not feeling super taxed day of, keep an eye out for the next day because they were not good.
Oh my gosh.
And I even felt them a little bit today, but I think tomorrow I'm good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to make sure to actually like take breaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
While you're building that like strength back up.
And it's so much fun that I don't want to take breaks, but I know that I need to.
That's the thing that really like sucks. I hate that too. Like whenever you have to take a break just so that your body can heal and you're just like, but all I want to do is rock climb.
Yeah.
Honestly, my advice is just watch like climbing competitions. Like I just love doing that. Like watch like lead or like top rope climbing competitions. So you could just watch how other people climb things.
Ooh,
like,
okay.
Like what their form is like. Because obviously like they're pros.
Yeah.
And they're going to make it look super easy. But it kind of gives you ideas of like, oh, they used a drop knee there. Oh, they did this. And they're kind of like, oh, maybe I can try that next time. And
yeah.
or even how they move their bodies. You know, like I always find that sometimes when I watch people climb, especially when they're new, they're kind of uncertain and kind of jittery when they move and they're not super confident in their movements. And then when you watch people who've been doing it for a long time, they make it look easy, but it's like they do it in this way that makes it look like they knew how to do it.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, and I just put my foot there. Okay.
When we went, I really loved, I can't remember what the actual term for it was, but it was the one where I kind of had walls on both sides.
Oh yeah. We technically call it like a dihedral or like a stemming route.
Yeah. I learned that I love that shit because it made me think about climbing in a way that I hadn't thought about it yet.
Right.
Where instead of it being just what holds do I have in front of me to get up to the top, it was what holds are all around me.
Exactly.
And
yeah. Because a
like,
stemming route is like normally in rock climbing, you're like grabbing the holds and you're pulling yourself up, or you're like standing up to grab the next one. But like you were saying, sometimes you get to these spots where like the holds that you have are not, you can't grab them and pull your body up. You just kind of have to like make your arm straight and put it on it. And kind of one, do that bit of a push-up motion, like you're getting up out of a pool. But then two, just kind of using those holds as like stationary points to just move your feet up.
Yeah. And instead of thinking entirely vertically,
Yeah.
you have to think about what holds are horizontal to you.
Right.
Not that you're going to move horizontally, but those ones are going to be the ones that actually lift you to the point that you can grab the next vertical
Yes.
one. And
Yeah.
that was so cool because my brain hadn't done that yet.
No, you hadn't even thought that like that was a way to climb.
No.
Right. That's
No.
yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned it that way, right? Like that it's
Yeah.
like this matter of just perspective. Initially, when you were climbing, you were only thinking about the holds that were directly in front of you or directly above you, like, and not really thinking, like, kind of becoming blind to the rest of your surroundings. And these types of routes, they're also really going to help you with your heights too.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be forced to look away from this wall and look at what's around you and just be comfortable with doing that.
Yeah. I want to do that route again really soon.
Well,
As
if you're
soon
feeling
as-
it tomorrow, like if you're feeling up to it, we could do it
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, because I think my elbow's going to feel better tomorrow. So I think that might be the first one I do tomorrow because I really want to get to the top
We
of
could
it.
just do some like really light, like stretching exercises and then do that one as your warm up because it's
Yeah.
an 8. So like you could easily warm up on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think the first one that I got to the top was an 8.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I also finished a book recently, which is incredible because I never finish books. I finished the audiobook for The Skeleton Crew by Stephen King.
I've heard it hits.
It was pretty good. I mean, it probably had like 20 short stories in it. I'd say maybe 8 of them I was like really gripped in. But there were definitely quite a few of them too that I like didn't fall asleep, but I like got distracted listening to other things. But there were definitely some really good ones. One of the highlights from the last time that I read it was a 2-part short story called Grandma. And it was just about a little boy who was like 5 or 6, and his older brother was in the hospital with like a broken arm. And so his mom left him alone with Grandma, his blind, super old, super fat grandmother. And he initially is just like, Mom's only going to be gone for so long, so I just have to sit here and like, Grandma's in the other room and like she's really scary and I don't want to have to like interact with her, so I'll just stay in here and everything will be fine. And like it's not fine, and everything gets bad. Like, but in the second part, it goes complete like occultism land, and it's really cool.
Okay,
It has a very, very good ending to it.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, finished that. I've been tinkering around with a new game that I bought because it was on sale, and I really like it. Honestly, it's like it's kind of like a turn-based RPG. It's called Sea of Stars. You're playing as one of 2, they're called solstice warriors. So they're like 2 twins that were born on either the winter or the sun solstice.
Okay.
So they have like kind of magical abilities, and they're best friends with like a regular kid named Garl. And they end up going, the 2 solstice warriors end up going to like this academy Garl can't go to. And so they end up having like almost a decade of time of separation. And then when they come back, they run into Garl and they all go on adventures together.
Okay.
So it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
So super. It's like I don't know. It's like a 16-bit style, but it's has a lot of really fun details. It's actually up to 3-player couch co-op,
Ooh,
which I think is
okay.
fucking awesome. You don't ever see games that do that anymore.
Do I hear a game day
Game day.
in our future?
We should do it, honestly. It's kind of fun too because it's like, sure, it's turn-based, but then there's also like reaction timing. So you
Yeah.
can either try and hit the enemy or block an enemy, and if you do it at just the right time, you either do more damage or you like take less damage.
Ooh, I
And
like
so it's
that.
like it is turn-based, but then it's also you get to choose your turn order. It's not like based off of initiative.
But you still get like either a critical success or a critical fail sort of situation.
Yeah. And it's engaging. Like you don't just sit there and just like push a button and just like go through the animations. Like there's other stuff that's happening. And like when the enemies attack you and you have to like get a perfect block, their animation styles are different. Like they have 2 or 3 animation styles per opponent. So yeah, like eventually you get it down, you get the timing down, and you like understand like, oh, that enemy's going to try these 3 attacks and I know how to block all of them. But then you go to the next location, you get a brand new batch of enemies and you're like, oh, I don't know how to block this enemies.
Hell yeah.
So it's really fun. And I like the
that.
story so far. That's been really, really good. And then obviously I've just been doing a lot of rock climbing.
Yeah.
And I fucking love rock climbing. It's my happy place. All right, everybody. Until next time, have a great evening.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, everybody. It's Karina. I'd like to tell you of a couple of announcements. We have got a Patreon now. You can subscribe at patreon.com/itsalwaysspooky. For $5 a month, we will be having some very special features, so stay tuned for those. Starting with every week, we'll be posting what episode we're planning on doing, so please make sure that you post your scariest and your favorite scenes so that we can feature them in the episode. If Patreon isn't your speed, you can also send us a tip on our Ko-fi account. That's kofi.com/itsalwaysspooky. Please, please, please also email us your spooky stories and any recommendations to itsalwaysspookypodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
It's always spooky.